Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I have to say, when I saw this latest General Hospital twist coming, I couldn't help but shake my head and smile. After all these years watching Port Charles turn upside down over secrets, family battles, and power struggles, this hospital board drama feels like the kind of storm that always finds its way to the Quartermain family. And this time, Laura Collins may have just made a choice that puts Tracy Quartermain on the warpath. From what I'm seeing, Laura's decision to bring Willow Kane into the hospital's boardroom is going to create a whole new level of tension. Now, I've watched plenty of GH storylines where one simple decision changes everything, and this feels exactly like one of those moments. Laura has always been someone who tries to do what she believes is right for Port Charles, but even the best intentions can stir up trouble when the Quartermains are involved. The big question on everyone's mind is, why Willow? That's the part that really caught my attention. Elizabeth Baldwin appears to be excited about the possibility of someone filling that empty seat on the hospital board. And from the way the preview is set up, it looks like she fully supports the choice. But Tracy, well, that's a completely different story. When Tracy storms in and reacts like someone has completely lost their mind, you can almost feel the Quartermain fire burning. And honestly, I'm not surprised. Tracy has never been the type to sit quietly when she thinks someone is making a mistake, especially when it involves her family, her reputation, or General Hospital. What makes this situation even more interesting is everything happening behind the scenes with Willow and Harrison Chase. The tension inside the Quartermain mansion has already been building for a while. Willow's growing friendship with Chase has become a major problem, especially because Chase is married to Brooklyn Quartermain. That alone is enough to make Tracy suspicious and protective of her family. I have to admit, watching Tracy get involved in this mess is classic GH. She doesn't just react, she goes all in. Recently, she even tried to push Willow and Chase closer together, which created an even bigger storm when Michael Corinthos decided to hire a private investigator to follow them and capture evidence. That move showed just how serious the situation had become. So now, with Laura possibly placing Willow in a powerful position at the hospital, Tracy may feel like everything is spinning out of control. To her, this may not just be about a board seat. It could feel like Willow is gaining influence inside an institution that means everything to the people of Port Charles. And that's what makes this storyline so fun to watch. One person sees an opportunity, another sees a disaster. Laura believes she may be making the right choice. Elizabeth sees hope for the hospital's future, but Tracy sees a warning sign flashing right in front of her. If there's one thing I've learned from General Hospital, it's that when Tracy Quartermain says someone has made a terrible decision, you better pay attention because trouble usually isn't far behind. What makes this whole situation fascinating to me is that Willow is not exactly someone who comes into this battle with a clean record. I mean, let's be honest. After everything we've seen in Port Charles, Willow has made some choices that have left a lot of people questioning her true intentions. There have been moments where her actions look suspicious, and some of the things she has done could easily be called questionable, even wrong. But here is the thing I keep coming back to when it comes to General Hospital. Willow's heart has always been in the right place. She may have made mistakes, she may have complicated situations, and she may have stepped into some gray areas, but I don't believe her feelings for GH are fake. This hospital has always represented something bigger than just a building. It's a place where people's lives are saved, where families come together, and where the people of Port Charles find hope during their darkest moments. That is why I can understand why Laura Collins would consider Willow for a position on the hospital board. Laura is not someone who makes decisions without thinking. She knows the importance of General Hospital, and she knows the kind of person who can bring something valuable to the table. She may be looking beyond Willow's personal mistakes and focusing on what Willow can actually do for the future of the hospital. And honestly, that is where this storyline gets really interesting. Willow is not just another name sitting around the boardroom table. She has political power. She has connections. She has access to resources that could make a real difference. As a congresswoman, Willow could potentially use her influence to fight for funding, support new hospital programs, and help GH receive the financial assistance it desperately needs. Now, I've watched enough General Hospital over the years to know that money is always a major issue. Hospitals need resources, equipment, staff, and programs to keep running. It's not just about making big speeches and saying you care. Someone has to actually find solutions. And that may be the reason Elizabeth Baldwin sees this as such a positive opportunity. Elizabeth understands what General Hospital means because she has spent so much of her life there. She has seen the doctors, nurses, and patients struggle. She knows how important it is for the hospital to have someone who can open doors and bring support from outside. That is where Willow's position could become a huge advantage. One of the projects that really caught my attention was the idea of creating funding for a daycare service connected to the hospital. At first glance, some people might overlook something like that, but I actually think it says a lot about Willow's priorities. A hospital is not only about emergency rooms and surgeries, it is also about supporting the people who work there and the families who depend on those services. Imagine nurses and doctors who spend long hours saving lives but still have to worry about childcare. A daycare program could make their lives easier and create a stronger support system inside GH. These are the kinds of practical changes that can improve the hospital from the inside out, and Willow may have the connections to make those ideas happen. Through her political career, she could have relationships with people involved in healthcare programs, social services, and government assistance. She could potentially help GH navigate complicated systems involving Medicaid, Medicare, and other forms of support. That is the part that makes me hesitate before judging Willow too harshly. Yes, she has baggage. Yes, there are things about her past that make people uncomfortable. But at the same time, if someone has the ability to use their position to help thousands of people, should we ignore that because of their mistakes? That is the debate happening right now. Of course, Tracy Quartermain's not going to look at it that way. Tracy is going to see Willow sitting on that board as a threat, and knowing Tracy, she is not going to quietly accept defeat. This woman has spent decades protecting the Quartermain name, and when she believes someone is putting her family or her values at risk, she becomes a force nobody wants to challenge. I have to say, this is the Tracy we know and love. She is smart, stubborn, and always ready with a plan. But sometimes Tracy's biggest strength is also her biggest weakness. She believes she is always the person who knows best, and that confidence can push her into dangerous territory. And this time, she may go further than anyone expects. Tracy has already shown she is willing to hide uncomfortable truths when necessary. Whether it was protecting Brooke Lynn from the consequences of her actions, or keeping secrets surrounding her presence on Route 91 during the night of Curtis and Jordan Ashford's accident, Tracy has proven that she knows how to manipulate a situation when she feels cornered. So if Willow's position on the hospital board is truly at risk, I would not be surprised if Tracy tries every possible move to stop it. She may attempt to influence other board members, create doubt about Willow's reputation, or even find a way to interfere with the voting process. But here is where Tracy needs to be careful, because sometimes the harder you try to control the outcome, the more obvious your actions become. We have already seen situations where a plan designed to protect the Quartermain family ended up creating even bigger problems. The situation involving Willow and Chase is a perfect example. What started as an attempt to manipulate emotions turned into a much bigger mess that exposed secrets and damaged relationships. So could Tracy's latest plan end the same way? That is the question I'm watching closely. Because if the hospital truly needs financial support, and Willow can provide something that no one else can, then Tracy may have a much harder fight ahead than she realizes. The board members may not care about personal drama as much as they care about the future of General Hospital, and at the end of the day, that could be Willow's biggest advantage. She may not be perfect, she may have made mistakes, but if she can prove that she is willing to use her power to protect GH and help the people inside it, then she may earn the respect of people who once doubted her. For me, this is what makes General Hospital so entertaining. It is never just about good versus evil. It is about complicated people making difficult choices. Tracy believes she is protecting the hospital in her own way, while Willow believes she can help it grow into something better. Now we just have to see which vision wins Tracy's old school Quartermain strategy or Willow's new approach with political power behind her. And knowing Port Charles, this fight is going to get messy before anyone comes out on top.